I've been watching Love on the Spectrum. Sorry to bore you.
Can I just say, though, I hate when people talk about dating shows.
Why?
It's not a topic that interests me.
Okay, it's not really, well, I guess it is a dating show, but what I was going to say isn't even about the dating part.
You can say it then. I just hate when everyone loves to be like, do you watch Love is Blind? And I'm like, no. And just stop right there. I just don't care after that.
Yeah, I will say reality shows are hard for me to like really care about.
But I'm the same with Bravo, I guess. I'm always like, do you watch Below Deck?
Yeah, I would say that probably about like YouTubers or something.
Yeah.
Like we all have our like
sure,
whatever.
But you can tell it.
Okay, this one guy on it, I'm obsessed with him. Like I would watch a reality show just about him and his family. They're so interesting and like just they're so entertaining. Like just the way their conversations, like the way they talk to each other is so entertaining. Someone else said it. He has like one-sided beef with his mom sometimes. He just says funny things to her, but he hates blondes, or at least he did in the past, and he made that very clear. But then his mom tried to set him up with a blonde person, and then he was like kind of mad at her that she did that. And then she's like, Connor, like stop, and he's like, I can hear you, speak. And like just the way that he said it was so funny. He's just so funny. Like he always speaks in like movie quotes, but in like the text or the context that he uses them, he just has great like timing with like like I don't know. He's so interesting.
I love it. I love a movie quoter.
Yes, he quotes movies all the time. I just would love for them to make a whole documentary. I would be sat.
Really?
Yes. They're so interesting. And he has maybe 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, and a mom. His mom is like so, and a stepdad, but I guess he has a dad too, but they don't show the dad. Anyway.
Nice.
It's interesting.
Cool. Gruel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet Podcast. I'm Kelee.
I'm Rebecca.
We have a lot to discuss today.
Do we now?
Actually, I feel like we don't, but maybe we do.
Okay.
Our topic today is a topic that we have planned to talk about multiple times, but then every time so far that we've tried, we end up just like talking about something completely different, and we just kind of like switch the episode vibe of the week. And so I am excited to talk about it today, and I feel like I don't have that many things on my mind, but I have one thing.
Okay.
But if you have anything on your mind, we can totally start with that.
I can think about it while you talk.
Oh, okay.
I really don't think I do, besides Bluest Flame.
Oh my gosh.
If you're not listening to Bluest Flame, add it to
We
your
have
playlist.
a Selinator in the house. Make that too. I'm so excited.
Are you listening to it too?
No. Well, sometimes. I haven't really been listening to music that much, honestly. I need to listen. One of my New Year's resolutions was to listen to more music because I used to be really, really into music, and I knew so many bands and artists and songs and stuff. And now I feel like I just don't even really listen to music. But then when I hear the songs from those people, I'm like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah.
And then when I go down the music rabbit hole, sometimes I get sad that, like, if you think about it, there is so much incredible music on earth that we do not even have time to listen to. And there are so many albums that are so incredible that we will never listen to, and albums that we feel that way about that other people will never listen to. And it's so sad. Like, I just wish everyone would listen to some of the albums that I have in mind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But one of them that I do think that everyone would love, and I've talked about it too many times, Justice. Okay, Justice by Justin Bieber is so
It's just
good.
funny because I feel like the lead up to that was like you were going to drop this indie, never been heard before album, and it's freaking Justin Bieber.
Well, I do feel that way about a lot of other
Yes.
a lot of other albums, but I just feel like everyone would like that one. But did you see that, oh my God, what's the name of their band? An indie band, it'll come to me, just did a pop-up.
Mountjoy.
Yes.
I saw that.
So Mountjoy, the band, apparently just randomly shows up. I saw one video of it. I'm assuming all of this.
Yeah.
Randomly shows up to an outdoor bar in Philly for a pop-up concert.
For free.
And just like maybe not thousands, hundreds of people in there. 1,000 maybe.
Probably. There. I saw the street. It was hordes of people.
They were on the street.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw one video inside.
Yeah, at one point they were on the street and it was like crowds.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
I know. Way to be. Because they are a Philly band. They come
really?
Yeah, they come from Philly. So that I feel like that's why they did it. They have a strong, connection to the city. They're giving back, if you will.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I really genuinely don't even know like any of their songs, but
Same.
the one song in the one video that I saw, I was like, this sounds so good.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't I know this song? It's like, it sounds like a jam.
Philly has a strong, I feel like, admiration for that type of music.
Yeah, like indie folk.
Yeah, like we're big Noah Kahan people, Mount Joy, and I'm like, I could not tell you one of any of these people's songs. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on something, but whenever I try to listen to them, I'm like, they all kind of sound the same. Like, it's just not totally for me, but I wish I was into it.
I know. I kind of feel you. I just feel like it always comes back to pop music for me, and almost every song that I like, you could argue it has some undertones of pop in it. And so when I think about indie folk, the songs that I actually really love do have like poppy undertones, I feel like. Although I used to be into this band called, oh my god, Dr. Dog. So folky.
Wait, yeah.
Like bare bones. At least the songs that I knew back in the day were like so like it sounded like one guitar and like one singer.
I
And
feel
his
like I know them.
His voice is so good. Like it just doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard before.
Yeah.
It was so good. I literally haven't listened to them in so. Who sings "Kids on the Run"? It might be Dr. Dog. We're just kids.
Wait,
on the
why
run.
I feel like I do know them and I'm blanking, but I picture their album cover in my head right now for sure.
Oh, Tallest Man on Earth. Tallest Man on Earth sounds like Dr. Dog, kind of, because I remember hearing it and I was like, oh my god, this sounds like Tallest Man on Earth.
I do like the Lumineers. I'm seeing them this year, actually.
Really? Where?
They're playing at Citizens Bank, which I feel like is a huge venue for them.
Slay! That's awesome.
Like,
well, they're
okay.
kind of big. They were on SNL, right?
I mean, when Ho-Hey was around, you know.
Yeah.
I need to brush up on their new stuff. I will say I'm going for Sleep on the Floor and Sleep on the Floor Only.
Is that a song?
Love that song.
Okay, couldn't name one song.
Pack yourself a toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it hits.
Yes, and we don't make it out. We might not ever make it out.
Oh, the best song ever. It really brings me back to college. I'm not gonna lie.
Aw.
So
Wait, did they sing Ophelia?
yeah.
Okay, I can name a song by them. I feel like their songs, I wouldn't be able to think of the names, but then when you sing the chorus like that, I'm like, oh, of course. Like they probably have so many songs like that for people, even if you don't think you know it. It's like they probably sing so many songs.
I do like Bon Iver, although I wouldn't call him folk. Because he's not like a strummy guitar kind of guy. He's more ethereal than that, I want to say.
Yeah. I couldn't name one song by him other than the Taylor ones and Skinny Love.
Skinny Love is
like,
so
I
good.
need to get into these people though. Like they're so good.
Well, he just released a new album, so you should go listen.
Okay.
I'll remind you.
Actually, I think I already said this, but one of my New Year's resolutions was to literally listen to more music because I used to listen to straight up like albums front to back and in that order. Like they were so good. I had a record. Well, I still have it, but I don't use it anymore. Record player. Like this is so corny, but The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd is so incredible. And when people like, I know that is the poster, like that cover is on every single like hippie poster, t-shirt in a music shop. Like everyone knows the cover. And I feel like it's almost turned into like, maybe not now, but when I was in high school, it was like a little bit of a cliche. Like it was literally everywhere. And it was anyone that thought they were cool had the album cover on something.
Yes.
T-shirt, like
I had a t-shirt.
phone case. Yeah. I had so many things. But there is a freaking reason. Like that album is so good. Like you just listen to like, just sit in the dark and listen to Us and Them as loud as you can make it without like putting yourself in pain. Like,
okay.
Like Pink Floyd has so many good songs. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm like, we are going to forget these bands soon. And I'm so scared. Like I'm just and it's so sad that like so many people don't know any songs on that album or any Pink Floyd song like at all. And there are so many bands that are just as good as Pink Floyd and I don't know them.
Yeah.
I do not know who they are and I'll never listen to them. Well, maybe some.
Now
but, like,
you should.
Well,
try.
I need to know them. Like
try.
We need to start like, oh my god, this other girl that I'm obsessed with. This is another like example. She's more relevant now, but there's this girl named Keita Alexander. I know who she was because her husband's a pro surfer. And when I was really, really into like following the surf world, she was just starting to like put out music. Her music is so good. It's like indie pop meets like a little tinge of folk, but it's like over EDM music. Not EDM, like just electronic. It's not EDM, but her music is so good. And I've been listening to her since like maybe 2015, 2016. Wow. Yeah, but she doesn't have that much music because I don't think she has a record deal. Like I think she's an independent artist right now, or at least she was in the past. podcast, and her songs are so freaking good. They get you going.
Oh.
And they just like feel like a vibe. Like you're just like riding a bike at sunset and there's water near you. You're listening to Kelee Alexander.
Wow.
And she just opened for Dua Lipa's
Oh my God.
New Zealand and Australia leg.
That's big.
And I'm so happy for her.
That's really big.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
love that.
I literally DM'd her. It's like never do that. It's like to celebrities. Like I think that's so weird. But I when she posted about her opening for Dua Lipa, I swiped it to her story and I was like, oh my God, congrats. Like this is amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Aw.
And I just hope that she just pops off and gets the recognition that she deserves. Like, oh my God, so good. Wait, one more piece of lore about Kelee Alexander. Her husband, the pro surfer, there was a season where he got in a really bad accident surfing and he had a brain injury, and it was like almost life or death. At least that's how they made it seem, like in the media. Like it was really, really bad, like really serious. And he recovered from it. And I'm pretty sure, I could be like misspeaking here, but I'm pretty sure his first contest back after this TBI where he's lucky to be alive, he won the contest.
Wow.
And they had just had a baby. And there's this iconic photo of them like hugging after, and they're both like crying and she's holding the baby in between them. So good. And she wrote a song about him and like the surfing world called Against the Water. And it's basically like she's talking to him being like, you can travel the world and have like anything you want, and the high that surfing gives you is so amazing, and like who am I to pull you away from that? So like don't think about me when you're like drowning, because you're meant to like do this and live this amazing life, and I don't want to be the one that like pulls you from that, but like I can also give you things too. At least that's what I get from it. Oh my God, it's so freaking good. Everyone go listen to her.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, now that I've yapped and I haven't even gotten to what I was gonna say.
No, you should say what you were gonna say.
Wait, I feel like you were just gonna say something.
It was just related to music.
Okay.
I went out on Saturday with fellow friend of the podcast, Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy.
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Longtime friend of the show. And we went out because it was a club XCX night.
Yes.
In Philly. And you know, we were disappointed.
No way.
Major flop. Okay, not major flop, because it was still fun. It was nice to be out. It was nice to dance. It's been a long time since I've done that, honestly. I used to do that every weekend. I was up in that place, but it's fine. It's fine. Times change. But like, I was really prepared to have like the best night ever because of this theme. How can you mess up that theme? And the DJ, first of all.
So the whole theme was just Brat or
well,
XCX.
like Brat and Friends kind of vibe.
Okay.
And then I think the little blurb about it said like Addison Rae, Lady Gaga, like, you know, similar music. You can't go wrong. First of all, the DJ was on his phone the entire time. Just like, it was clearly a pre-made playlist. At least pretend to be like,
Yeah.
No, he was just leaning against the wall, just like. And then at one point he left the DJ booth to go God knows where, maybe to smoke, I don't know, but he was gone for like a good amount of songs. And I'm like, well, you're flopping, because no one, like, people were dancing, but you could tell when he played a true bop. When he played Vroom Vroom, Place Went Wild. And every other song was just like a remix, and not a good remix, you know. It was a remix where like the one was of Sympathy Is a Knife, which is like one of the best Brat tracks, and whatever it was just made her voice so high pitched and sped up. And I'm like, bro, can you read the room? Like, if you just played the normal version or the remix that's on the album, like, people would lose their minds. And everyone was just like, but no one was like,
yeah.
It's like, you know, I don't get it. I don't get the point of not trying.
Did you have to pay a cover?
I'm not even gonna say how much it was because it's embarrassing.
Okay, then that really makes me mad, because if there's like a live band or a specialized DJ and there's a cover, it's annoying that you have to pay a cover, because it's like, I'm gonna go buy drinks all night and like you can't just pay them. But like, okay,
right,
I get it, because the cover goes to the artist, whatever. If you are gonna have a pre-recorded playlist and be on your phone the whole time, what are we paying for?
No, and it's not a good playlist.
No, that's really annoying.
And you had everything at your disposal to make it the best night ever. Like, the theme is freaking Brat. Just play Brat.
I feel like you should DM them. I feel like
Maybe,
you should DM the bar and just say, hey, longtime fan, first time caller, and be like, I was at the Brat thing. I've gone to countless themed nights, and just be really nice and be like, I just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback. I was really actually disappointed and a little bit let down because of the DJ. I didn't feel like he was into it, and the cover, I'm happy to pay it, for like, you know, what you're supposed to be or what you're advertising.
Right.
But it was just like a little bit upsetting, and maybe they'll give you like a free cover for the next one, or they'll hold themselves to higher standards.
I feel like they just don't care. This is one of those Fishtown bars that like they just don't care.
They don't care. Okay.
And it's like it was one every, I would say, 8 songs that was like a good song.
That's so annoying.
But it takes a while to get through 8 songs.
8 songs, yeah.
When it's 10 p.m. at night, like I have a bedtime.
That's like 30 minutes, 8 songs.
Yeah. So we left, and I noticed like people who came later than us leave with us or leave before us, and I'm like, yeah, because you're not playing what people paid here to hear.
Yeah, that's really
why. Like I don't get that. I've been at workout classes that are themed before too, where it's a theme. I just said that twice. Theme is a theme, and the whole class they just play like really bad remixes, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's really not that hard.
Yeah, and like you think about, there are so many songs that are so lit and they don't need a remix.
Totally, especially Charlie XCX.
Yeah, like her whole like the whole thing sounds like a remix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Wow.
I wanted to get behind that booth. I would have showed them a good time.
You should have. You should have been like, oh, are you going out on your smoke break? I'll take over.
Plugs in my Spotify.
Yeah, literally. There was a time that we wanted to be DJs. It was when we went on Halloween, and there was another one of those like specialized DJs. She goes all around Philly. And in the beginning of the night, there's a reason for this, but she wasn't like, it wasn't hitting. It was like, all right, there's a good song every once in a while. We got there kind of early though, because we were lied to about the time of the start of the party.
Yeah.
We got there on Halloween. It was like the classic, like, it's a costume party, and it's not. We get there and we're the only people in costumes. We're like, you're joking. But anyway, we were there so long.
Yeah.
In the beginning, she was not killing it, but then once that dance floor started to like fill up, she was slaying. Like every song was good. Everyone knew every word to every song. It was so fun. We got in before the cover actually. Because we got there so freaking early.
We sure did. And honestly had a blast.
Yeah.
I think we could do that. I think we could DJ.
Yes, that was my point of bringing that up, is she was inspiring us to become DJs. We're like, we could do this.
We could have a cute duo name like Sophie Tucker.
Oh, is that a duo name?
Yeah, they're...
Oh my God, yeah, it's a guy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's crazy. That sounds like an actual name.
Right.
We could be Rebecca Kelly. That kind of sounds like a name, you know? A full name.
Kind of. Anyway, tell your thing.
Okay. Mine's a little bit of an update about the podcast. So I have been wanting to spend a lot more time on my YouTube channel as well as the podcast, and it's a little bit time consuming. Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
So I have proposed a new schedule. It's very similar to the old schedule. But for the foreseeable future, we're going to be doing 3 episodes a month on the podcast channel, like the same episodes that you have been seeing for the past year or 2. And then in the off week, I will be posting a video on my personal YouTube channel that I can link in the bio. But it's really hard to, honestly, at the point that I'm at, I don't have time to do both because I'm doing a lot of the stuff on the back end. So until my YouTube channel starts popping off and I can outsource everything, I am going to just kind of interwork them more together so that their schedule like just aligns in a more intentional way, honestly, because before I was like, oh, whenever I have time to do a YouTube video, I'll do it. And it's rare that would even happen. Mm-hmm. But I do really want to do that. So yeah, I was thinking that we can take one of the podcast episodes that, like the time that it takes to record and produce a podcast episode, I will take that time to record and produce a video on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. And then as soon as we make our first milli and outsource, no, I'm just kidding.
Literally.
But yeah, that's my general plan right now. So 3 out of 4 weeks of the month, there will be a podcast episode, and 1 out of the 4 weeks, there will be a video on my YouTube channel.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yay. Doing the thing.
Doing it.
Love it.
And on my YouTube channel, I'm doing a mix of vlogging and talking. So it's also very similar to the podcast. It's a little more, I've only recorded 2 like talking videos, which are both on my YouTube channel now, but they are more casual, I guess. Like it's really just like my stream of consciousness and like what I thought of that week. And then the podcast, for the most part, is like pretty structured. Like we almost always stick to our topic except a few random times where we like just go off on tangents and we just make that the whole episode. But yeah, so it's similar content anyway, just on a different channel.
Love it.
Cool. Okay, should we get into our
I'm
actual topic?
Curious about this one.
We are not even gonna have time because I have so many things for this topic.
Okay, we can try.
We are doing things my therapist said, and all of the quotes or advice were pulled from various places where people shared one of the most interesting or groundbreaking or life-changing things that their therapist said, and it really spoke to them or like affected their life in a positive way.
Okay.
So I collected a ton of quotes. Honestly, some of them I'm like, damn.
Really?
That is really, you really ate with that one, honestly.
Yay, okay.
And I wrote this episode so long ago, so I don't even remember them, but I just remember being moved by some of them.
Okay.
Let's do it. Things my therapist said. Number 1, not my therapist, but my mom's. She was in therapy to cope with her relationship with her mother, my grandma, a terrible woman, and kept talking about how she wished their relationship could be. The therapist said something like, look, you wouldn't go to a candy store and ask them for a steak. You already know they won't give you a steak. They don't have them, and they can't provide you with one. So why do you keep going to your mother and asking for a relationship that you know she's incapable of giving you? It really changed the way my mom was looking at their relationship. And she, in turn, gave me the same advice later when I was having problems with a friend at school. You don't form relationships with people based on what you wish it could be. You have to see them for who they are and what they can give and decide if that works for you or not.
I love advice where people use really clear metaphors like this, because then in your head you're like, wait, yes, I just can't go and ask for a steak at a candy store. Like, you just changed my entire mind.
I feel like that's such a good analogy too, or metaphor for dating and relationships, because there is we read stories all the time, and even like my friends are like, they're like perfect in X, Y, and Z way, but I just wish that they had 3 more extremely important qualities, and if they had those, we would be the perfect match. And it's like, they don't. They don't have them, and they never will. And if you start a relationship hoping that one day they will have them, you're in for a letdown every day of your life.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I know.
That's a really good metaphor, actually. And I also think it's similar to the metaphor that I really like, which is, oh my God, now I like candy. It's basically some people are a kiddie pool and some people are a diving pool and some people are the ocean. People can only meet you or go as deep with you as how deep they are. And the kiddie pool will never understand the depth of the diving pool, and the diving pool will never understand the depths of the ocean. And it's not because they're a bad person. It's not because they don't have value or they're not as good as you or anything. It's just because they are different than you. They're made for different things, and they'll never be able to give you this other thing.
That is so true. That's an issue for me with dating, actually, for sure. Like, dating a kiddie pool and I need an ocean.
Right.
And they're just never going to be the ocean.
It's so hard too, because you could have like the most amazing kiddie pool. Like, this person could be so attractive, funny, cool, great job, driven, but they could also still be a kiddie pool and you still want the ocean. So it's like, they're a great guy. Of course they're a great guy, but you don't need a great kiddie pool. You need a great ocean.
Yeah. Not to be confused with a bad ocean.
Honestly, they exist. And a bad diving pool.
Yeah.
There was one other one that I put underneath of that, so I think it related. At my old job, we had a really toxic supervisor, and someone asked me how I dealt with him. My analogy was that snakes and puppies are both valid pets, but if you expect your snake to act like a puppy, you are going to be disappointed. Accepting he was what he was and not expecting him to be a good leader just saved me so much internal stress. You just have to approach it with a completely different plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. That's so true too with friends, especially like as people get older and you all have different like life paths and stuff, and you're making friends and maintaining friendships. It just gets to a point where you're like, it was easy to be friends with you like when I was in high school or college, when we had this external factor that was keeping us close. But then when you get into the real world and you need to actually be a good friend to people in order to maintain friendships, people don't always live up to the expectation you had of them.
Right.
And it's just because they're not even capable of giving you that friendship or that energy or whatever.
Totally. Wow. So what's better, the puppy or the snake or the kiddie pool or the ocean?
It's all about personal preference. I would personally want an ocean and a puppy, but there is someone.
Oh, I think I want an ocean and okay, what's a hybrid? A puppy snake.
Okay, a mix between the two. Okay.
Which would be what?
Or both.
A German Shepherd, perhaps.
Yeah, love.
They have snake vibes.
Yes.
A Dober.
A Doberman.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Dobermans.
They do have snake vibes. But I think that that's the good analogy, like especially the candy store and like the steak store, because both of them are so good and they're both valuable. They're just completely different and they have different uses and they will never have the same use or they wouldn't be that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good analogy.
So what do you want? Sweetener or protein? Just kidding.
I want both. I want everything.
That is a metaphor.
It is. Should we do the second one?
Yeah.
My therapist told me that when I assume how someone will respond, like thinking they won't apologize or they won't listen, I'm essentially finishing the story for them and not giving them a real chance to show me otherwise. I think this is especially easy to do if you have black and white thinking or tend to shut people out quickly to protect yourself. It really shifted my perspective on how I approach relationships and communication. I used to do that all the time. The like, oh, well, they're not going to do this, or like, they won't listen to me if I try to talk to them anyway.
So like, why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really try to not do that because I hate when people do that about me.
Yeah.
Like, it's so annoying when people are like, well, they're not going to like X, Y, and Z anyway. And it's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Like,
that's not a way to go through life.
right.
Because then you'll eventually end up with like all these shut off ties from people that you're close to or could be close to.
And you're just never going to learn anything. Like, if you're just assuming things about other people, you're never giving them the chance to show you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, exactly what they said. You're just finishing the story for them and you're never giving them a chance to like play a role.
Yeah.
And you're actually just doing yourself a disservice. But then it's like at the same time, it's hard because you could assume something based off of who someone showed you they are for so long.
Yeah.
That it's like, well, if they do that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to assume it for the 10th time.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's something to keep in mind when it's a new situation or it's something that really means a lot to you, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I like that analogy though.
Yeah.
Or it's not really an analogy. It's kind of just like a lesson.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah. Similar to above, you can't hold people accountable for the things they say in your head. Ooh.
Okay. Love.
That's so true.
That is something I actively have to work on all of the time. I be in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I be making up things in my head for sure.
That also really goes for good and bad things.
Yeah.
Because people fantasize about other people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like none of it is real.
Yeah.
So even when you're like giving someone the benefit of the doubt in your head, it's still bad.
Yeah. That's a good point too. Huh. Wow.
That's deep. Societal evolution always outpaces biological and therefore psychological evolution. Wait, that's interesting. This I feel like is kind of like a deeper...
I feel like that's an interesting thing to hear from a therapist though.
Right.
I mean, maybe that person needed to hear about evolution in that time.
Or just like...
during that time.
understanding why people act the way they do within the means of society that we have right now.
Yeah, but that wouldn't help me. Like, I understand why it helps people, but it wouldn't help me.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's
too high level.
I've heard this phrase recently that people, it's like kind of like going viral, but we were never meant to see our own face. With mirrors and pictures and videos and stuff and social media, all we see is our own face. And so it creates so much lack of self-esteem and like issues within yourself and how you view yourself. But it's not even natural to view ourselves and to be thinking about what we look like. It's like...
You're giving abnegation in Divergent.
Stop.
Have you seen that?
I've definitely seen it, but I forget what it is.
The one faction which she could only look at herself in the mirror for 5 minutes a day or something.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And there's this one scene in the movie where the mom is like slowly closing the door on the mirror and she's like... She wasn't meant for abnegation.
That's so funny. Wow, TBT.
Anyway, that's what it reminded me of because they were onto something maybe.
No, honestly, I do think that, well, I definitely think that we are not supposed to have this much access to people.
Yes.
And this much access to just the fact that like we never have to wonder about anything. We never have to be bored.
Mm-hmm.
And our brain isn't meant for that.
So true. I'm actively trying as of like a couple days ago to stop always listening to something when I'm either either cooking or walking somewhere, it's like I can go without my AirPods, without a podcast, without music for like half an hour. I can do it. It's really hard.
It's so hard. I have been trying to, I'm also always listening to something, and I have been trying to, when I get the urge to like simply walk into the other room and get something, I'm like, oh, I'll take my phone that's playing the podcast, or like I'll put this like, so dumb. And I've been trying to just say no to my want.
But is it so bad? Because sometimes I'm like, when it comes to a podcast, for example, it's like it comes from a pure desire to want to know more things. Like, it's not a reality show. Sometimes it is, but especially when I'm cooking dinner, it's like I just want to have a podcast that's like teaching me something. Or
then I think that's different.
It's a cool interview. But then I get in my head because I'm like, it's still content. Like, we're still not meant to be maybe even knowing as much about other people's lives. It's not like I'm listening to like, why is the world round? It's like an interview with like, I don't know, a nutritionist or something.
I mean,
it's like Huberman.
It's what?
It's like Huberman sometimes, my man.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know that it's always a good thing, but I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to consume content that teaches you something. I guess because you could argue that if you said, oh, I listen to reality show podcasts all day, or like I do something, people would be like, oh, you're always listening to something, like your brain. If this is like, I just heard a lot of people talking about like the stimulation thing, like always being stimulated. Sometimes your brain just needs a break and you just need to think for yourself. But what if you said the same thing about listening to like an audiobook of a textbook or something?
Right.
Would people be like, oh, you're stimulating your brain too much? So is it about the education, or is it about the like unnecessary information, I guess, that you're receiving? I don't know.
Because I feel like I'm getting better about stopping podcast episodes that I feel like are dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, okay, I don't need to really know this. Or it's someone talking about their hobbies, like, no offense. But sometimes people just go on too many tangents about like dumb stuff. And it's like, I
cut to our...
Well, I know. I thought about that actually. I'm like, okay, we've done episodes like that too. But you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, but I also think that it's also valid because you have a choice.
Yeah.
It's not like it's being pushed on you. If you want to listen to people talking as background noise, or if you want to listen to very casual conversation where you're not learning something, then you're allowed to do that. And just because content isn't teaching you something or furthering your life, I guess, you're allowed to just be entertained and like nothing else except entertained. Or these two girls in this podcast, me listening to it makes me feel less alone, or it makes cleaning easier because I have something to entertain me while I clean. Like, not everything has to be this like groundbreaking thing.
No.
So I don't think that it's necessarily bad, or I don't think it's bad at all to consume that content when you want to and when it's easy for you. But yeah, I guess the stimulation thing, well, yeah, I feel like you and I, we have different problems with this.
Yeah.
Mine is about stimulation, honestly. I'm like, I need to be listening to something.
Yeah. Because
I'm too bored without it. Or bored isn't the right word. I just like crave listening to something.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't even matter what it, well, that's not necessarily true. I was going to say, it doesn't even matter what it is. I was like, well, that's not true. Because then I would put on like actually anything.
Right.
And I wouldn't be like searching for a new podcast, like similar to like whatever.
Yeah. But do you ever like feel like if you don't, like certain podcasts or even certain people you follow on social media, you need to know what they're doing? Like you have this like, I hate to say parasocial because I feel like everyone says that now, but almost parasocial relationship. And I'm like, that's where it gets dicey because I'm like, I don't need to listen to this person's podcast this week. Like, it's okay if I don't.
Okay.
You know, like that's where I'm coming from, where it's like, it's not teaching me anything in that sense. It's more so like, I just feel like, oh, I'm like loyal to this person to a fault. Mm-hmm. And I need to listen to every single week when they release an episode. Like I need to listen to it, but it's like, I don't. But at the same time, like we're podcasters and we want people to listen to us every week.
Right. But maybe not for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe, okay. Yeah, we definitely have different, we definitely have a different, deeper issue, I guess. Because for me, I would not say that's, what I think about at all. The podcast that I listen to, which actually there isn't even that many that I religiously listen to every single week. It's more just, these people talk like me, or they talk about lighthearted stuff with the occasional good piece of advice, and it's entertaining. And it's, I don't know, it's the slightest bit interesting, so therefore it entertains me for the 45 minutes or however long. But when it comes to being interested in people, yeah, for myself, I don't see it in that exact way. Mm-hmm. There are people that interest me that if they put out content, I will consume it. I'm thinking of this one photographer who lives in Hawaii that I just find her, actually there's two that come to mind. Hawaii photographer photographer turned influencer. They're just both very interesting to me. The life they live, the photos they take are very beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're just, I don't know why. I've created like, well, no, I haven't created. I was going to say I've created this like mental lore. I'm like, they have an allure that I am drawn to. No, they've created it in their brand and it worked on me and I'm interested in them. But at the same time, I don't care about, like, not that I don't care about them, but if I missed a certain story and it was just another day of like them at the beach, I wouldn't feel the need. I don't check their stories every day. If they pop up, I'm like, oh yeah, when I'm bored, but I don't like seek them out, I guess.
Yeah.
Except some random times, like I don't follow the Kardashians on Instagram, but maybe once every like 4 months, I'll be like, oh my God, Kim Kardashian Instagram. And then I'll go and I'll stalk, I'm not kidding, all of them. Every single sister, I will like look at their Instagram and be like, wow. And then I don't do it again for the next like 4 months.
See, that's actually a great example for me too, the Kardashians, because I was watching them religiously from like early high school until after college, a couple years after college, like over 10 years. Well, would that be 10 years? Almost, I guess.
They've been on for a long time.
Yeah. And it got to a point where I'm like, I feel like I care too much about these people. And it's like, if I miss an episode, I'm like panicking.
Wait, really?
Yes. Like, I just was like so obsessed with the Kardashians and I just wanted to like keep up with them in every sense of the word.
Their brand work.
And I got to a point where I'm like, this is kind of a problem. Like, I shouldn't care this much about this family. Like, yeah, it's entertaining, but like, I need to like sever my, I guess, parasocial relationship with them. So I cold turkey stopped watching them. Kind of got back into it when they switched to Hulu because I'm like, okay, this is interesting to me. And it helped, honestly. I was like, I'm clean from the Kardashians.
Yeah. I guess that really is a parasocial relationship because I'm guessing if one of your friends put out something, you would also be like, I want to watch it or I want to engage with my friends' life updates. And in theory, like the show is their life updates, I guess.
Yeah.
You could argue. Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, I guess people say parasocial relationships are bad. I don't know. Is it bad?
I don't know. I wasn't like I wasn't like a freak about it or anything.
Yeah.
I didn't have like fan pages dedicated to them, but I just felt like, I don't know, like so dedicated to them in a way where I'm like, okay, if I zoom out, like this really doesn't matter at all.
But I also think that there is an element of celebrity culture where that has always been true. And that is why like the term celebrity or famous exists. Even before social media was a thing, when there was just like famous actors like Marilyn Monroe or Audrey Hepburn, people were probably obsessive over them to the level that they were able to like receive information, I guess, about them or access to them. So anyway, the point is like, I feel like it's natural to be interested in celebrities. Like there has always been this natural, like even celebrities we create in our head. Like there are people that aren't celebrities in the traditional sense of the word, but if you think about them a lot, like they're kind of a celebrity to you because you see them as like cooler and more interesting, or I don't know. Yeah. Like people, it's even like a very common trope for friends to be like, oh, those two people that me and my friend always talk about that we've made into celebrities in our minds. Yeah. Like it's just natural to do that and be interested in other people. Is it bad? If you're not hurt, I mean, obviously it gets bad if people are obsessive and they're like acting on it. Yes, obviously that's bad. But to just be like personally invested, and the only thing, this is kind of how I feel about Taylor Swift. Yeah. I only consume what she gives me. You know, I don't stalk her. I don't go to her house, and I never will. Yeah. I don't, unless I'm invited, Taylor.
DMs are open.
Yes. I've never Googled her address. I've never done, like, I have never tried to consume more. I mean, obviously I've seen paparazzi photos of her that are on the internet, but like, I don't go and seek out secret videos and whatever of her. Like I consume what she gives me and I'm interested in anything she gives me. Yeah. Is that bad? Like, is that really that bad? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're living your life based off of it and you're like, I'm not going to make literally cancel plans just in case he calls. Yes, that's bad. Yeah. But like to just be interested in someone as a fan of them, like, I don't know. Yeah. Is it really hurting you? Maybe it is. Maybe a psychologist or a therapist can tell us. Like, I don't know if it's really that bad.
Yeah, at that level, I don't think that's true, actually.
But even you with the Kardashians, like being excited about the show that they put out and being like, oh my God, I need to watch the next episode. People say that about every scripted show. Yeah. People say that about Severance, like White Lotus. No one's being called a stalker or creepy or parasocial because they're really excited about the next piece of scripted television.
No, that's totally true.
But it's a weird line when like reality television, I mean, is their actual life and who they are is the storyline.
Yeah, and it's like maybe it's an ego thing. Yeah. Like I don't want to be the person that like knows everything about the Kardashians. Like, that could be it too. My ego is like winning there.
Wait, so you
like, I want to be like above that.
You don't. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, it got to a point where I'm like, why do I know everything about Khloe's love life? Like, I just like don't want to know it, because I just like, I don't want to be that in the know about something like that.
I kind of feel you, because like if someone were to say like, oh, do you know all of Khloe's exes or like all of her kids' names? And you were like, yeah, I can name all of them. People would be like, oh, that's weird. Like, they would judge you. So then internally you're like, I need to stop consuming their content because I don't want to know the answers, because I don't want to be the person that's judged for knowing the answers.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I guess it was coming from that place too. I'll share like an innocent example of this that just happened a couple days ago. I was in a coffee shop and in walks one of the owners of like one of the most famous Philly restaurants, and I was starstruck. I literally texted like 3 people and I'm like, guess who's here right now?
Wait, what's the restaurant?
Kelee. And I know her too because she did a Chef's Table episode. If you are a fan of Chef's Table on Netflix, she was wearing the Chef's Table sweatshirt, her Gucci shoes, and her dogs who were in the special were also at the coffee shop. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to like ask for her autograph.
You should. That's so cool though. Maybe not autograph, but like say hi.
She is like Philly famous.
That's really cool. And she owns 3 restaurants.
No.
Just, I thought you said 3. Sorry.
No, just Kelee.
Oh. Okay. I don't know why I thought you said 3.
No, but I highly recommend her Chef's Table episode. It's really well done.
Never even heard of that.
It's like a docu-series on Netflix about restaurants.
Cool.
Around the world.
Yeah, like I think though that's kind of cool though, because that's great. Like it's cool to have people like that that you think are cool because of things that they do in their life that makes them unique and interesting.
I also just watched that episode, I should say that, like 2 weeks ago. So it was like fresh in my mind, and then I saw her face and I'm like, wait.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, we saw Kelee Rutherford.
Yes.
On our vacation on our trip. It was a vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
Vacation's such a funny thing to call like a trip to Europe, because
you're like, it's not.
You're like running around. I need to see everything.
You're up at 6 a.m. Yeah,
you're like, I'm never gonna be back here. I need to see it all. Like, put on your walking shoes. We saw Kelee Rutherford, who is Serena van der Woodsen's mom in Gossip Girl, and like, I don't know how I thought about that. Like, I just didn't. I thought it was really cool. Like, I was like, whoa, that's so cool to see someone that you really only see on a screen. But I also wasn't like. I mean, it would have been cool to ask her for a picture, but I wasn't like dying to.
I feel like I was for like a hot second.
We just should have. She seems so nice. And everyone says she's nice.
But that's like where she lives.
No, it's not. She lives in Monaco?
I'm pretty sure.
She lives there.
I'm like 99% sure.
Wait, why did I say no, it's not, as if I've ever looked? I don't know where she lives. I'm like, okay.
I think because of her divorce or something. She like...
Wait, that's crazy.
Her ex, I don't know.
I mean, she's like a fashion icon, so it would make sense being in Europe near all these designers and stuff.
Yeah, but anyway.
At the same time, if I saw Kim Kardashian, maybe not Kim, maybe I wouldn't ask Kim for a photo. I would not be able to stop looking at her. I just know for a fact. The thing is, she's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, you see her, so many videos of her, and then you see them in real life, and it's like, I don't know, I just want to stare at her.
Yeah. That's the thing too with seeing someone famous in the wild. It's like, you would think your instinct would be to ask for a picture, but my instinct is to just like stare.
Yeah, because they're interesting.
Like, I almost don't even want to interrupt their like vibe.
Yeah.
Their natural vibe with a picture. I just want to be like, how are you moving through this moment in time with me right now?
They're just interested.
Yeah.
In like, they're just normal.
Now, if I saw Harry Styles, different story.
Yeah, if I saw Taylor Swift, like there's no stopping me. And honestly, I've said the same thing about Snooki. Like, one time we were out at a bar and we saw another member. I won't out them because I won't, I don't want to be a hater. But we saw another cast member of the Jersey Shore show.
They were like right there.
They were right next to us. Yeah. And I was like, oh, we were all kind of like, whoa, that's so cool. And I was like, okay, I don't care about you. But, and my sister was like, guys, play it cool. Like, nobody say anything to her. Just like, be normal, be normal. And I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, if I ever see Snooki, I'm asking for a photo and no one's stopping me. And I'm not going to be embarrassed about it. I need to say hi to Snooki. Like, I don't care. She's so funny. Like, I love her. Same thing maybe with Pauly D or Vinny.
See, I was going to say
almost all of them.
I was going to say Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, a few years ago, or maybe like last year, there was a trend that was like, name one man you would feel comfortable being alone in a room with.
Oh yeah, I remember that trend.
I chose Mike the Situation and Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Why is that kind of true though?
I know. I was like, Mike the Situation would be like the best. Oh my god, yeah. Anyway, it's really interesting to talk about parasocial relationships because if you never act on it, is it really hurting you? I don't know. Maybe
like deeply psychologically, but would it ever come to the surface? Like, depends who you are as a person, maybe.
Right.
When does it become a point where you are one of those people with like burner accounts, like commenting you're fat on like all of someone's pictures? You know, like
what?
When?
I guess that does happen.
But like seriously, like what's the funnel to get to that point? Like I'm curious, because unless there's really just that many crazy people, but I feel like there are so many trolls now, and they could be walking among us and you would think they're totally normal.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I think the troll thing is the like deeply, deeply insecure people that are so jealous of everybody else that they need to tear them down. And we've all had jealous thoughts. Like there are people in life that I am jealous of that, like, I hate to admit this, but if I saw a hate comment, or if I saw like, ooh, this person's not as perfect as everybody thinks they are, there is a part of my brain that's like, oh, okay, they're not actually perfect. And then I'm like, why am I like reveling in the fact that this person isn't perfect? It's literally just because I'm jealous of them. And I wish that I could have like the success that they have, or like, I don't know. And I think that I'm in like a pretty good mental space in my life, so I'm able to like recognize that and be like, you do not need to tear other people down and I never have, even when I was like much more, I guess, unhappy with like where I was in life, and I was like not doing exactly what I would want to do or whatever. I've never left a hate comment, because first of all, it's so embarrassing. Think about if anyone you knew found out you were leaving hate comments on social media. Like, you are so embarrassing.
Yes.
And also, I would never even want to do that. Like, you just don't need to say everything that you think. If you actually are hating on something in your head, just like, it's just crazy to me to think about people actually commenting those things. But I feel like there's obviously like the spectrum and like the levels of like who you are and the things that you let get to you. And I think there's way more crazier people than we think.
Yeah, definitely.
People just do crazy things. And then when you are so insecure and you feel like the only, or sad in your life, and you feel like the only way to make yourself feel better is to make it seem like everyone is on your level and there has to be something wrong with everyone, or like no one's allowed to be happy, is like when the trolls come out.
But there's so many of them. Like
I know, I think there are.
When I was on TikTok and watching some of these popular TikTokers, and I would go to the comments and I'm like, there's like 500 just like negative comments.
Yeah.
That means there's 500 people commenting these things, and I'm like, they're just out here, they don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't get it. Those are things I think in my head.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But I would never be inclined to comment that on a public space ever.
I also think it's probably just because of the life that they lead. Like, we have a podcast and like we're almost like in this space.
Yeah.
So not only do we know how it feels if someone were to hate on our content that we put out, or like who we are as a person, just because of like, I don't know, the way that you look in a certain picture or video, but I guess there's just people that like their whole life is like sitting on their phone and like going to a job they hate, going home and like never wanting to fix it. And like then it just comes out in like the comments that you leave. But the thing is, that's not even the only people that are doing it. It's people that are probably also in this space that are just on like a second, like that's what you meant with like the trolls and like the burner accounts.
Like when it came out, I feel like that popular TikTokers or celebrities over the years, when it comes out that they have a secret fan account
for themselves.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you're like one of them. Like, you're also a freak.
Honestly, that is kind of freak behavior to have your own fan account.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like this fine line between, like, my sister just told me that she watched a documentary about Kim Kardashian, or no, it was about Kris Jenner or something. And apparently she told Kim, like when Kim was organizing closets and then she was going to go have Paris Hilton as a client, she said, like, don't go as if you are working for her. Go and present yourself as if you are one of her. You're on her level. You are one of them. You're not less than them. And she did that, and then they became like super close. And then that just like, it's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. So part of me is like, fan account, I couldn't imagine myself doing that, but I'm also like, fake it till you make it is something that you've heard almost every successful person say.
Yeah, I do think successful people like it better when you act like them too, a little bit. Like if you act like you're below them, I just feel like I remember this feeling from my corporate days. Looking back, I'm like, I should have just like walked into every meeting, every room like I was above, instead of kind of cowering almost. And I think things would have turned out a little differently.
Well,
but I don't regret it. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
when you're 23 too, like, you just don't know to like act like that. Most people don't.
Yeah, like hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Like, of course, if I knew then what I knew now, like you could go back and like act more confident or different or something. But it's really how you present yourself is very important.
Yes.
And I kind of think it's all of what we're saying, I guess, kind of comes back to that. So I guess if you make a fan account for yourself and then it actually gets you like something else in life, or it puts you in, it creates a perception of you that forces other people to perceive you in the way you want to be perceived. Okay, sure. I mean, in theory, what's the difference between making a fan account or if I made an account called like Kelee, the professional podcaster? And it's like, I want people to think I have fans. I want people to think I'm a professional podcaster. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I guess podcasters, that's a bad example because I actually have a podcast. But like, I don't know. So like, it's about perception. I think truly the worst is when you are using that account to pull people down.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to lift yourself up by not talking to anybody else or like affecting anyone else, okay, fine. Have your fan account of yourself.
Yeah.
It's still like something that I don't think I would do for myself, but at least you are not pulling other people down. Mm-hmm. Whereas so many people are on their like on their keyboards tip-tapping away, trying to tell people all the things wrong with them, and that's what like people feed off of. Mm-hmm. It's like every time somebody gets canceled, and like, oh my god, I remember there was I won't use names, the most popular YouTuber cancellation of all time. People were watching the follower counts in real time. One was going up and one was going down. And I remember I was friends with this girl and she was like, oh my God, I'm watching like the follower count and like they're losing so many followers. It's amazing.
Oh.
I'm just like, why are you like getting so excited to watch someone's follower count go down so much? Oh my God, they lost 500,000 followers overnight. Like, okay. Like, don't you have a job? Don't you actually have a job?
Totally.
Like, what are you doing? One of my favorite comments that I see on videos or memes or something that's like so chronically online is people will literally post, I have a full-time job. Can someone translate what this means? It's like, seriously, like, go get a job or like get a hobby. Yeah. Like, I guarantee you, if you had something to make you happy and take up a lot of your time, if you had a business that you were passionate about, I don't think that you would be sitting there watching someone's follower count go down. No. Unless they literally did something to you.
Even then, though, I'm like, even then.
No, I think if somebody like did something, if someone like betrayed me.
You would be on lostfollowingcount.com.
They would have to do something bad. I'm not talking like they stole my like soup spoon.
Obviously.
I'm talking like they like punched me in the face out of nowhere. I'd be like, fine, you know what? But no, I wouldn't be watching their thing. I would just be hoping that they would. I would be hoping for the demise silently.
Yeah, it's a mental thing. But I think it's interesting with internet takedowns now that we're on this category, because I think recency bias really plays a huge role. Like, I remember when the Call Her Daddy thing went down, and I think Alex Cooper was the first to speak out and like create that YouTube video of like my truth. And Sophia, I think, waited a while before she told her truth. But at first, everyone was Team Alex because she was just the first to speak out. And then everyone was Team Sophia. And it just like flip-flops, I feel like, every like year still. Yeah. And it's like, it's just so interesting. I'm like, y'all don't have any sort of, like, you don't stand for nothing. You're just like, you're watching and you're just, I don't know.
It's almost like the internet lives in absolute truths. You have to be on one side and there's like no other option, or there's no like middle ground for a lot of things. Like, I do. And oh my God, one of the corniest things that another very common comment is, two things can be true. Oh. Like, all right, can we retire that phrase or like just rework it so it's not the, oh my God, it's so annoying. Like, you really thought you ate with that one on every single video. Two things can be true. Hope this helps. I'm going to delete my whole social presence and jump off a cliff.
That is so true. That phrase is used all the time.
What, the two things can be true? Yeah. I'm like, all right, we get
Heart
it.
emoji.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, at the same time, it's true. Yeah. But even with that phrase being so popular, people are still like, somebody has to be right and somebody has to be wrong. Mm-hmm. What if like everyone just does some good things and some bad things, and like that's how life is? That's
it. Period.
Yeah. Like, unless the bad things are like so greatly outweighing the good things, it ain't that deep, you know? But I feel like nobody just lets people live. But it's also, I do think it's because of like jealousy. And also the psychological love for gossip.
Oh, yes. I just read a great Substack about gossip.
I don't want to
I'll send
read
it to you.
Well, I do, but I don't want to like see myself in it.
No, it was lighthearted. It was pro gossip.
Oh.
But in a lighthearted way.
Interesting.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. The human brain is just like very attracted to gossip, and like it feeds off of gossip and like negative things like that. And it just gets, I just feel like everyone who has ever wanted somebody to be canceled over nothing is a good example of that.
Yeah. So actually I'll send this to you first because I would be curious about if you're pro or anti gossip, but where do you stand now?
I try to not talk about other people a lot. One, because a few years ago when I was starting my business, I read a bunch of like self-help books, and one of the quotes that stood out to me was, normal people talk about people, successful people talk about ideas. And I was like, wow, that's really true. And I'm guessing if you go to, and I'm not saying like you're never allowed to mention somebody else. Like we could sit here and do a business analysis on a successful person. We're talking about a person, like, but just to sit there and talk about people that don't affect you at all, like you're friends of a friend, and like how like her proposal went so bad because like he cheated the night before. Those are things that are never going to get you further in life. Yeah. But they feed my brain in a way that I'm like not scared of, but I'm just like, it's so true. Like it is so true that our brains are so like excited about gossip and drama, and I don't want that to be something that I fill my time with. So for the past, like not even last year, it might have been even like during COVID, it was like a while ago at this point, I kind of was just like, I need to try in my life to not gossip and not talk about people. And when I'm sitting at dinner with friends, not talk about other people and not talk about gossip and like people that don't affect me whatsoever. Let's talk about ideas and goals and ourselves and our lives. And I feel like it has made me so much more positive. It's made me happier. It has made me more honest, and it's made me want to pursue more friendships that are just very true and that aren't forced at all. Yeah. And it's really easy to just sit at dinner and just be like, guys, let's talk about, like, I remember on my birthday in 2022, so like this is how long ago I like started doing this. I was like, oh guys, let's go around the table and all say what we're most looking forward to this year. And that was really fun. And now we're talking, instead of talking about like, did you hear about that guy's sister's girlfriend? Now we're talking about, I am so excited for this thing that I am doing in my life. And everyone's like, wow, now I'm learning about you, and not like my boyfriend's sister's like aunt's cousin's boyfriend. I hate
that when people, they start gossiping to you about the person in their life who's like 5 people twice removed, and I'm like, I'm like, do you really care that much? And like, why do you think I would care that much?
No, I know, but people do. Yeah, that's the thing. Do you actually care, or is this just like semi-entertaining to your brain? Somehow. And I feel like it's that. Like, I feel like they're just, they don't actually care about this. It's like, but also, are you just so boring? Like, are you actually that boring?
I think some people,
yes, they are. Yeah. And I don't want to be like that. Like, I don't want to be boring. I want to have my own like interesting things that I'm creating like for myself, and that's what I want to talk about. At the same time, I am like a venter. Like, I could talk and vent about something for years. Literally. I love venting and I love reminiscing. So I do talk about people, but I try to not focus on people that don't affect me. Like, if there was like a friend, an ex-friend, something that happened to me or to my close friend, yes, I will talk about those people.
Same. I'm never not talking about those people.
Yeah. But it's like the difference between gossip and venting. And I do think that's like a trick. Like, because if you are telling 2 stories to strangers, they're like, well, really, what's the difference? Right. But one of them is venting and one of them is just straight up gossip. Right. So I try to stick to the venting. And then when it goes past venting, it's really hard because the human brain loves gossip. But I do try to be like, all right, we don't need to like just rip this person apart.
Yeah. There's a difference if something directly impacts you and it's like happening now, or something happens where it reminds you of a time that thing happened. Right. That, I think venting is totally fine. But yeah, gossip, I agree with you. I've tried to stray from that over the years. It's also just like growing up. Like, you just care a lot less about what everyone's doing.
Yes. And I also think that when you don't have drama in your life and you don't talk about it and you don't focus on it, it just goes away. Like, the less you talk about drama, the less drama you have in your life. It just is like a snowball effect. And I remember, oh man, I forget who I was talking to, but I think something happened to like a friend of a friend. And we were talking about like this drama with this friend group. And I was like, oh my God, this is so foreign to me. I was like, wow, this is really what like happens with friends. Like, my friends would never say this about each other.
No, I think that too sometimes. I'm like, I can't, it's hard for me to fathom what people deal with. No, I just like I don't deal with drama with friends, and I haven't in a really long time. Yeah. Like years. years.
And then I think it's weird. It's when you do have something that's like maybe something's on the rocks, a relationship, a friendship or something, then it feels like so overwhelming, I guess, because I'm like, no, like all of my friendships are just nice.
Yeah.
Like, my friends are just nice. And we actually like each other.
Yeah.
We don't talk about each other. So then when like something other than that happens, I'm like, bro, like I really don't feel like dealing with this. Like,
I know.
I wish I could just snap my fingers and like never hear about you again.
Yeah, real.
And eventually you do.
Yep. I know.
Yeah, sorry. I just went on so many tangents about.
No, it's fine. I feel like that was a fun. I feel like this could also just be part 2.
Yeah, we definitely have to. I think we did 3, right?
Yeah.
3 pieces
We
of
tried.
advice.
We keep trying to do this episode.
We keep trying. But the thing is, this episode, it's so good because it clearly sparks so many other conversations.
It does.
So we're going to record 2 episodes today, a look into the logistics of the podcast. But we had a second idea for today. Should we do this? I feel like we need to do the second one too.
Okay. Yeah.
Or we record 3.
Well, we're going to take a break and be back with different outfits.
Yeah.
And we're going to go somewhere that you guys have never heard us go to before. Never been done before.
Never been done before.
Follow
the diner.
Follow us on Instagram to find out.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. We will definitely do this episode at some point.
Yeah.
Full episode.
Yeah. We try.
Things my therapist said. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.